So in this lesson, we'll be using pixels. So let's go ahead and create our document. Okay, now we want to use 1080 by 1080 pixels. So we have 1080, height of 1080. Okay, you don't need any margin. Okay, so you want the margin to be 0. Now you want the bleed, you want to add a little bit of bleed. Okay, now let's hit OK. Let the orientation be portrait. The orientation to be portrait, and then hit OK. Now first of all, you have to create our layers. Let's name this layer background. Now let's come and work on the background. Now let's go to file and then go into our design size files and go to, you want to be using the food flyer. Okay, so when you go into your inDesign size files, then this food flyer design, you open it and then click on the background, then open. Okay, now so we have our image placed. Now let's pick our ellipse tool. I want us to draw a circle, so let's hold shift, then drag it this way. You have to be sure to release your mouse before you release your shift. If not, it will destroy the circle for you. Okay, shift X. Now I want us to drag this upwards this way. Then let's try to place it somewhere in the middle. Okay, let's hold Control and Shift. Then let's increase it. So you arrange it to fit the style that you want. Okay, now we are still working on the background. Let's go ahead and duplicate this file, edit by going to edit, copy, and then edit, and then paste in place. Now we want to change the image, so let's go to file, and then let's go to place. Then let's place in this texture. Make sure you select replace selected item, then hit OK. And now it replaces. Let's go to the effects and add an effect. Now we want the blending mode to be exclusive. Okay, let's see. Can play around with the blending mode. If not, this is not what we want. Now let's cancel it. Now change the color to none, and then so this is what I did. The color was just black. Okay, so you just come there and change it to none. Now go back to your effects and then transparency, and then change it to exclusive. Now hit OK. We're still working on the background, so let's go ahead and go to File, Place, and then let's go ahead and place this yellow shape. Then uncheck Replace Selected Image Item, and then hit OK. Now we want to place it over here. It's just a shape that is being created. Okay, it's just a shape that has been created, and all you've got to do is to add after creating a rectangle, then you create your triangles. Okay, you create your triangles and then place the triangle. So let's say you use this one, you create this one with a different color. So you use yellow for this one, and then you also create a different one, and then you use a different color for it, and then you place the triangle on it and duplicate it to fit to fill the spots of the shape. Okay, then you leave some space so that you get the pointed part. Okay, so it's just simple, not that hard. Just do it, and then here's what we have. Then let's go ahead and duplicate it. Now we are good to go. So now let's lock the background. Let's unlock the image layer, because we want to add some images to it. So now the first thing I wanted to do is that let's go and then pick our rectangular tool, and then we are coming to add some rectangles whereby we can add our images to rectangle, or we can clip our images to the rectangle. So that's what we want to do now. So now let's do this. I want the wave to be like 474 for the wave, and I want the height to be 300 pixels. Then I'll hit OK. Okay, now I want to add a stroke of paper, and then I want the points to be 10 points. Now what I want to do is I just want to rotate it to the place that I want. Now let's copy it. Now edit again and then paste it. Now let's also fix this by placing it at the place that we want to place it. Now let's go to edit, then paste again. Now right click and then arrange, send backward, then let's rotate it. Now let's adjust the size. Now let's go ahead and add some shadow to it. So go to FX, drop shadow, So place it somewhere where you can add your shadow. Now you can change the angle to any place that you want. You can now work on the distance, and then you can also work on the offset. So you do it in a way that you find it good for yourself. Now let's click over here and also add some drop shadow. So I want this to be this way. Maybe I want to reduce the opacity and then maybe add some size or add some of the spread. Okay, I can hit OK. So be doing this till you see that it's okay for me. Now let's go ahead and add our images. So go to File and place. And if it is what I want, and also do this. Okay, then fit in, and I'll fill it with different proportional. We can go ahead. Let's add our logo. I'll go to File and then place. Let's go ahead and place this food logo. So this food logo was also just created with the use of just using the shapes. Okay, so with the help of the Pathfinder tool, you can just place it easy without even you can just create it. Okay, so it's easy to create this with the use of the Pathfinder tool. Now let's place it at the place that we want. Okay, now let's go into our text layers, then unlock the image layers. Now what we want to do is that we just want to add our text to it. So we are almost done. Now let's pick our type 2 and let's come into our text layer. Now let's create a text box. You want to type in SUPER. It is for super. Then what I want to do is that I just want to select all, and then I want the text color to be white. First of all, let me make the size 86, and then let me come into the color and make the color paper. So select paper. I want to use a font called okay, so let's see the font that you can use. So let's use Precure Demo. Okay, now let's preview it. We want it this way. Now let's let this be a little bit big. Now let's type in delicious. Now let's select this. Before we do that, let's go ahead and add a color. So I want here to be 0, and I want here to be 39. I want here to be 100, and then 0. Now let's hit OK. Then I'll select this, and I'll click on this to change the color. Now Control A to select all. Now let's work on the leading. I want to make this food I want the size to be, let me increase the size a little bit. Please follow as I do it. Okay. Just follow it, because I can't be talking through. Sometimes I have to just keep quiet and do it, so you just have to follow it. That's the reason you are learning this course. Okay, now let's set the box, then rotate it this way. Then let's bring it to this side. Now let's select all. Okay, so we have some effects that we can add. Okay, you can do this, and you can add some of the effects when you just come to the object, and you can add any effects that you want to add over here. You can also decide to select all of the text, and then you can make it force italic. You can add some force italic to it. Okay, now I think it's okay. I just want to pick my polygon tool. I just click, and I want this to be 3. I just hit OK. Now Shift X. Now kindly follow as I. Now let's duplicate it. So we're just adding some elements to it. Now I want the color to be paper. So let me go ahead and duplicate it. So when it becomes this way, it becomes a little bit difficult to select it. let's rotate it. Okay, I like it this way. Let's zoom out. Now I have to duplicate it. So let me select it. Let me select these three. And then edit, copy. Let me bring it to this side. Now let me go to this side. Now edit and paste. Let me bring it over here. Now let me rotate it. So I want to change this to okay. Now let's zoom out. This is what we've done so far. Now let's pick our text tool. So create a text box over here. Then let's click write logo here. So let's Ctrl A to select all. You want to be using a font called Montserrat. Okay, so let's wait for it to load. So we use Montserrat bold, and then we want the size to be 18 points. Let's make all caps. Right click, fitting. Now let's bring it somewhere here. Let's Ctrl A to select, and then let's change the color to paper. Okay, so let's control the leading. £18 is okay. Now let me select this. So let me go back to my image layer and select this, shift, and then to make sure to align it, you can use your alignment panel. Okay, then you select the two, then you align it. Okay, that's what you do. Now let's go back to our test. Let's zoom out to see what we've done so far. Now let's come to the bottom, then add the rest to it. Let's pick our type 2. Then let's type in order now. And then Control A to select all. You want all to be all caps. And then we want to use Montserrat. So we want to use Montserrat semi-bold, not the Montserrat alternate. Okay, don't use Montserrat alternate, you want to use Montserrat itself. Okay, so let the tracking to be 100. Now let's control everything. It's okay here. Let's pick our rectangular tool and create a rectangle over here. Now what do we do? Let's go back to our selection tool, then click here. So we want to make something like this. Before, let's select it, and then let's Shift X. So let's work on it. If it's okay for us, then we stop. You can still just use the properties, okay, to also control the corners. Okay, you can do that. Then you control the corner over here. Decide on the corner that you want, and then you can also work on it. Let's change this color to white. Select all and then change it to white. Control A, and then change it to paper. Now let's bring it over here. And then let's send this to back. Right click, arrange, send backward. Now let's select the two. Let's bring this somewhere here. Of course, we have to add some things, including contact info. So let's go ahead. So let's go to File, Place, okay. So when you go into a trifold brochure, you have some assets there where you can place these assets. Okay, let's place this over here. Then let's leave it. So I taught you a way you should do it. You should place it from what do you call, place it from your Adobe Illustrator. Okay, place it from your Adobe Illustrator. With this, you can easily manipulate the color. Since I'm not placing it from Adobe Illustrator, it means that I can't play with the colors. So let's pick our type 2. Now let's add our website. Control A. Select all. Let's use Montserrat. Okay, let's use Montserrat regular at the moment. And then if we have to adjust it, we will do so. So let's use black as a color. And make sure all your caps. Then let's bring it here. Control E. And then let's add some. So you should place the file from Illustrator so that you can manipulate the colors. If not, it will be difficult for you to change the colors in Adobe InDesign. There's no way you can change the colors in Adobe InDesign. And let's bring this here. Control A. Let's add more of the tracking. 250 is okay. Right click and then fitting. Okay, now let's pick this. Okay. So play around with it till you get a size that is okay for you. Now let's duplicate this. Control E. Yes, your phone number. Now shift and click the two. Now let's try to align them. You can also check the distribution if it is okay for you. Then you distribute it as according to how you want it to be. And so you make sure you play around with these things and make sure it is okay for you. And you can also reduce the size. Alright, so we want to go ahead and add a discount. So with that, we want to go to Control D to add our brush to the brush. So Control D. Also go to File and then place. And let's place this brush stroke. Hit OK. Now let's place it somewhere here. Okay, let's drag it to the side. Now I want to add my text to it. So I'll say up to. then I'll hit enter. Then I want to add 50% now of and also I want to bring in limited offer. Now what we want to do is that we want to select all. So Control A to select all. Now let's make the color black. Let's stick to black. We want to make up to. Let's change the font to Montserrat semi-bold. And I use Montserrat semi-bold. And also we want the font size to be 28. Okay. Now let's also select the other one, which is 50%. So I want the 50%. Let's go ahead and make it this way. I want the 50% to be the size to be 68. Hit enter. And also with it selected, I want to make it Montserrat bold. Okay, bold is good for me. I'll go ahead and make my this a little bit bigger. So I want to make it the off to make it all caps, and I want to make Montserrat. I want to choose light. Also, I want to make the size 68. 68 and then enter. Now let me bring it here. It's left with my limited offer. Then let me make it Montserrat regular. And then I'll make it all caps. Also with this, we can still make sure we close some of the spaces. Okay, so if this is not working for us, we just have to select all, and then we can use our tracking. Okay, so let's send it back to our food flyer. Then you can now know how to work with the tracking. Let's bring it front. Okay, so let's see the layer in which we're working in the background layer. So let's make sure to pull it into the text layer. Now it can come to the front. Okay, Control A. Then let's add the so you just have to play around with it. until you find out you think that it is okay for you. Now you can now turn it this way. Make sure that it is at a place that you're okay with. Now let's say W to preview. So if you think that like this, for instance, the off change forest, the off change, so let's light. So let's see, and let's use monstrating, and then there we go. So view, then fit into. So now this is how to create a food flyer, and we've been able to add our up to 50% discount. And one thing to, if still for instance the limited offer is not okay for me, okay, I can go ahead and select it, then I can come and change it to bold, then I can add some tracking if I want. So it's good to always play around with your text even after you've finished, so the videos have to work on it some more. So this is how to create a food flyer, and thank you for joining this lesson.